Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
Welcome to the fourth and final series episode of the series on Russian design. And today I'm welcoming again Alexandra Sankova, my fearless collaborator from Moscow, and Stepan Lukyanov, who is artistic director of Moscow Design Museum and the designer for the exhibition at the Zimmerli called Everyday Soviet. So they will introduce the final series on contemporary design in Russia, and I will give the floor to Sasha, and maybe she can tell us about the main directions in contemporary design in Russia today.
Yulia, thank you very much for organizing this event and hosting exhibition. I know that Zimmerli made recently an online tour. We're very happy to share this virtual tour of the exhibition, and uh, our viewers, our uh, people who cannot recently visit museum, it's so great that they can look online how also the exhibition is done. I want to invite those who didn't see the exhibition to see exhibition design made by Stepan Lukyanov, because this is quite amazing, and it shows a lot how a contemporary designer is looking at the Soviet past, because this is like a rethinking, and also let's say, even though we were living all in Soviet Union, but this is quite a fresh look into the history. And I would like to tell a couple of words about the contemporary directions of design. First of all, it's industrial design made for the big corporations, like Rock's Technological Agency, when big companies, industrial companies ordering, having in-house designers ordering design in big design studios. Another direction is designers who are organizing their own studios and working from the scratch, like from the idea till the implementation and branding, and also producing their own products. So let's say this is everything in-house. And also a new concept. Design is now this is quite a new direction for Russia, even though it's already well developed in the other parts of the world, when designers don't think if something will be developed. They just make a contemporary, they just make their own ideas, visualize them, make 3D illustrations, and then it can be also a concept for cars or concept of new products, and so that's absolutely not necessary to be implemented or produced, but they just show the new visions and the futuristic ideas. Now we can say that not many designers are working in different areas, and this is very interesting that Stepan Lukyanov, who is with us today, he is able to work in very different directions. For many years, Stepan was working as an art director at the TV channels, different TV channels like music TV and entertaining TV, and also serious channels, more like news-wise. On the other hand, Stepan was always making a graphic design as posters and newspapers, and also experimental things with our friends, movie directors, and theater directors. And recently Stepan is art directing Moscow Design Museum, making exhibition design, as well as he's art director of the of Electro Theater. It's a very avant-garde theater in Moscow, where Stepan is making stage design. So this is very unique that Stepan can work in all these different directions: media, in theater, exhibition design, graphic design. And my question now will be directed to Stepa. Stepa, can you please tell us what is, how you can combine all of that? Is it possible to be like professional and make like great results in every area? How you are able to do that? It's I'm surprised myself. Степа, сейчас по-русски тебе скажу, как ты можешь работать и в театре, и в кино, вообще
Я
каким
понял.
образом?
Да. Да, ну я отвечу по-русски. Добрый вечер, добрый день. Саша сказала, что это такие очень разные сферы. Ну, конечно, они разные, но и вопрос был в том, как я работаю в таких как бы разных сферах. Ну, я бы сказал, что на самом деле они в большой степени близки друг к другу. Ты можешь переводить, я буду паузу делать.
Хорошо, отлично. So I will translate what Stepan tells us. First of all, he sends his greetings to everyone. And he says that, of course, these are very different areas, but on the closer look, they're not that different. Yes?
Ну да, потому что я, например, не делаю же автомобили и при этом создаю театральную сценографию. Вот это было бы, конечно, непросто.
It's not like he designs cars and then does theater productions. If that would be the case, that, of course, would be very complicated.
Но если говорить о тех сферах, в которых мне посчастливилось работать, то, как мне кажется, тут важно иметь очень большую заинтересованность и всегда работать с какой-то главной генеральной идеей, которую, конечно, нужно всегда находить при помощи исследований, своего интереса, общения с авторами.
So, but if we're talking about the areas that Stepan is working on, then the main thing is to have a very, to be very committed to the project, very interested in the project, and find some main idea that could be based on research or on conversations and discussions with co-authors who also participate in the project.
Ну, а то, что касается, например, экспозиционного дизайна и театрального дизайна сценографии, то это вообще очень близкие и фактически сейчас уже переплетающиеся друг с другом дисциплины, которые предполагают определенное течение времени, действия, нарратива.
And if we're talking about theater design and exhibition design, these disciplines, these two subject matters are close nowadays, especially, and they both are based on a certain scenography, narrative, the building on the narrative, and the kind of the presentation. So I can add from myself that they both of those disciplines have to do with show business. To put it.
А то, что касается графического дизайна, то это необходимая оболочка, коммуникация, которой тоже важно тематически и, так сказать, маркетингово, да, всегда очень точно применять ко всем этим видам дизайна, да, видам как бы искусства. Театр, телевидение, музеи, это надо просто обязательно этим заниматься очень подробно.
And and if we're talking about graphic design, then this is the necessary, how do you say, оболочка, necessary shell, necessary cover for every project that you do. And so it is very important to be concerned with this part of the production in great detail, because that's the way to communicate your product, your ideas to the outside world.
Ну вот, как-то так.
That's how it is.
И у меня еще один, кстати, вопрос, который сейчас прошу по-русски переведу, потом по-английски. Степа, ты не мог бы рассказать в 2 словах об идее дизайна для выставки, которая сейчас закрыта в Зиммерли? И еще о том, что когда ты делаешь выставки, ты, по сути, куратор, ты можешь добавлять, просить какие-то предметы добавить или убрать, и вот как бы твоя больше роль, чем просто дизайнера, как бы по факту оказывается, потому что ты как бы концептуально все смотришь, и это просто твоя особенность, или выставочные дизайнеры включаются вообще обычно в работу тоже куратора? Это вопрос, как бы 2 вопроса в одном. Я сейчас переведу их на английский. I addressed Stepa a question that about the exhibition design in Zimmerli, the exhibition industrial design and non-conformist art. And also it's very interesting as Stepan always very conceptual looking at everything, not only in design wise, but thinking about what maybe can be added to the exhibition, what extra senses could be given, what should be taken away to have a balance and to have more articulated ideas. So I'm wondering if this only Stepan's approach to be also, like, let's say, co-curating exhibition, or this is like a very obvious for all exhibition designers.
Ну, я начну со второго вопроса, со второй части вопроса о дизайнере-кураторе. Мне кажется, что да.
I will start with the second part of the question about the relationship between designer and curator.
Да, мне кажется, что хороший дизайнер должен быть куратором. Ну, то есть либо понимать как бы в кураторском деле. И насколько я знаю, ведущие экспозиционные дизайнеры, безусловно, выполняют, как бы совместно работают над курированием как бы выставки. Это важно.
So Stepan thinks that the good designer needs to understand the curatorial position, curatorial point of view, and the leading designers work closely with curators and do assume the roles of kind of co-curators of the exhibition, prompting some ideas.
Потому что нельзя создать какую-то архитектуру, пространство, не понимая, что там должно быть, чего там быть, скорее всего, не должно. И поскольку кураторы преследуют порой разные цели, то нужно их некоторым образом направлять и корректировать, потому что, собственно, идею пространства предлагаешь ты, и если с ней все согласны, то стоит помогать коллегам создать правильную композицию, чтобы не было ни пусто, ни густо, как говорят по-русски.
So in order to create the architecture of the space for the exhibition, so that this kind of space that church was meaning, you have to understand what it is that it is filled in, and you can, I mean, you can and should help colleagues to shape up this space conceptually, and you can advise and what, and you should understand what should be in this space and what shouldn't, depending on the idea that curator would like to, and you can kind of correct and adjust and suggest to your colleagues, the curators, of how this space can be shaped.
Перейдем к первой части вопроса.
Now we come to the first part of Sasha's question.
Про выставку в Циммерле. Идея там была несложная, в хорошем смысле. Мы использовали прием, известный, впрочем, во всем мире, но как бы для нас он такой родной, советский. Это когда в подъездах и вообще во многих общественных пространствах стены, низ стены всегда был закрашен какой-то достаточно грубый и такой кондовый, не знаю, как это перевести, но неважно, грубой краской.
So many spaces in the Soviet Union were divided into parts, and the wall was colored. In the lower part of the wall was colored in a different color, in this kind of rough textured paints.
И для нас это достаточно такой мрачный и неприятный образ. И многие художники, нонконформисты, советские, российские, этот прием использовали, в частности, Кабаков его очень любит.
So this is not a very pleasing image. The image was not such nice associations for many Soviet people, and many artists, because it has such strong connotations and association, use this image in their work. For example, Ilya Kabakov.
Но поскольку мое детство прошло среди таких стен, а детство мое было беззаботным и радостным, то я предложил более такой позитивный и легкий взгляд на этот прием, просто немножко, так сказать, осветлив и сделав более яркими эти краски.
But we, as a kids, Styopa in particular, had a happy Soviet childhood. And I mean, indeed, so for him there is no such grim connotation that for older generation, and so he suggested to lighten up the impression and the from this color scheme and make the colors slightly more cheerful.
И вторым важным элементом этой выставки это, являются вот эти полочки, простые, сколоченные из деревянных дощечек полочки, которые очень часто встречались на советских коммунальных кухнях, просто в коридорах, квартирах.
And the second important element of the exhibition design are the shelves that go under every picture, which was the simple wooden shelves that could be often seen in apartments, corridors, kitchens, and such.
Третий элемент – это довольно активная типографика, которая соответствует каким-то разделам временным. И вот это вот сочетание вот этих элементов плюс большая насыщенность экспонатами дает, желаемый мной эффект такого очень разнообразного действия, довольно яркого.
And the third more important element is the graphic design element, the text, the fonts, the signage. And the combination of these design elements with very dense representation of artworks gives the tension and the diversity that Stepan desired for this space.
И возникает, на мой взгляд, неожиданный эффект изобилия, как ни странно, при том, что вот эти все элементы по отдельности они навевают скорее тоску и опустошенность, и какое-то одиночество обездоленности советского человека, но мы создали вот это изобилие искусства и радость жизни.
And
Ну, как-то так.
despite of odds, this plethora of kind of this diversity gives an impression of I don't even know how to translate изобилие in this case, the plethora of things when each of the objects per se gives association with you know, some solitude of a Soviet person, but we managed to create the you know, the diversity and richness through art and design. And the exhibition is about connection of art and design. And so I think we have reached our goal, and was very, for me, it was a great happiness to work with Sasha and Stepan on this exhibition. Thank you very much. Indeed, the exhibition itself is closed to the public, but we do have some representation online. And now I suggest we will see the film, the 4th series devoted to the contemporary design, and then come back for the question and answers after the film. Well, thank you, Sasha. Great film, very enlightening and energizing.
I want to say that from the time we filmed this, there is a very new, not very new, not new in the world, but in Russia, it's a new movement connected to ecology. It's recycling. Now we're having exhibition in Tretyakov Gallery in collaboration with Tretyakov Gallery, major Russian museum in Moscow. And we have an exhibition on show Fantastic Plastic. And we have found out that there are so many designers that are now interested in recycling and rethinking, reusing. And this is a very good point because I think that reusing, rethinking, recycling, that's the future of the design.
Yes, absolutely. I'm supporting this idea very much, and I'm inviting our audience to ask questions. Unfortunately, Stepan couldn't be here for Q&A, but Sasha and I will answer your questions. And in the meantime, I have a question to Sasha. How this new young designers seem to be different in their attitude and mindset than those from VNIT? And how do these two generations relate to each other? Because I think that these are two very distinct pages in the history of Russian design. How they are different, how they are similar. Is there, you touched upon certain tradition, but how is it really connected?
I think that contemporary designers, they are looking for their roots. As VNIT, Institute of Technical Aesthetics, was not well known or almost unknown for many years. Many young designers were looking into the past and were inspired by avant-garde, but recently when Soviet design the subject of Soviet design started to rise up and be more and more popular, contemporary designers are making research also in the period of 60s, 70s, 80s, and getting inspiration there. And this is a common now also some like ideas. Some remember how it was when they were small, and they reflect that in their works and their own experience during the Soviet times. So practically these generations are getting now, the younger generations, more and more connected because more and more information is rising up. Also, thanks for the recent exhibitions and roundtables and movies. And I'm sure that without knowing your roots, you cannot go further. This is very important to know design history and history of your country and history of the world history, because knowing, having this, let's say, suitcase with you, all these necessary things that can help you to have more basis in your design works.
And we remember that there was a discrepancy between design ideas and design production in the older days. And I'm wondering, how is it now? Because one of the speakers in the film complained that usually firms just take Western design and implement, by patent and implement, and not so keen to pick up ideas from local designers. But on other cases, especially those who work on governmental projects and such, they are really implementing, fantastic, very elaborate design machines and constructions, and very functional ones. So how is it now? What's the situation?
I can tell you the very interesting thing, that from the time we filmed this documentary, two of designers participants in the movie, they moved to New York, industrial designers. Anna Kulachok is now living in New York. Ekaterina Kaputin is now living in New York. And other designers, like other couple of designers, even more, they already were living abroad. So being in industrial design, there is still a gap between production and designers. And if you want to be an industrial designer, it's easier to move abroad. From the other hand, graphic designers were always doing very well. And during avant-garde and Soviet times, and nowadays, graphic design is always well paid, and also there are a lot of possibilities for graphic designers in Russia. And this was the last one, Grigorovich, who said there's the difficult times, but it's great times because he's a graphic designer. And this is quite yeah, it depends on which area you're working at. But designers that want to develop their own designs, they are industrial designers, furniture designers. Nowadays, they are opening their own productions because it's very hard to produce something. But also, it's true that you can be Russian designer, American designer. Doesn't matter where you live. Actually, it's matter like what is your where you, I don't know, born or where you were raised up, because now everything is so global, and you can design something in New York and produce it in China, and then programmers will be in Brazil. So now everything is very international.
Yes, so we can say that the Russian design and the younger designers are being more and more integrated into international scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Internationally. Well, we don't have any questions, but unless you would like to add something, we can.
Yeah, if there will be some questions further on, I'm happy to answer.
Yes, but so thank you very much. I think it was a fantastic series. We're very lucky to have the opportunity to see it, and thank you very much, Sasha, for your collaboration.
It's amazing that you also decided to broadcast, to show for your audience these movies, because it's a pleasure for us, of course, to share information and knowledge.
Yes, and thank you very much who attended the our series, and we're hoping to show a separate film on Vniete later in the spring, so stay tuned. And well, thank you, and we'll see you later on our further future events.
Thanks. Bye bye.